Welcome to another Top 10. This Top 10 is going to be on a very cliched premise, I know, but I felt like I should have made this list at some point in my life. Now, we all have played games before, we all have our favorites, we all have those games that we want to burn every single copy of like it's some sort of Crystal Max roundup. And then we have those games that don't much deserve the praise they were given. That's right, overrated games. And I'm going to list which 10 I think fall into this category. Oh, and to all potential fantards, just because a game is overrated doesn't mean it's bad. Alright, let's do this. No one ever really looked at KILLZONE 1 to be anything of spectacle when it came to FPSs. Especially me. I fucking hated that game. The levels were too big, allowing you to get lost easily, the enemies barely took damage, and the campaign was so long I feel like I'm still playing it. Then came KILLZONE 2. Yeah, I ain't touching KILLZONE 3 since I haven't played it. KILLZONE 2 was said to have stepped up from KILLZONE 1, fixing all of its flaws. I wouldn't say that at all. KILLZONE 2 was slightly better, but it had some new problems, and it basically thought that one extreme was the answer to another. The campaign went by too fast, the levels felt too small, it was too AI based, and it basically took the Miyazaki approach in survival. I get why the series exists, to compete with Halo, but they've clearly poured more than enough effort into differentiation. But alas, it's still an enjoyable game, hence it being at the bottom of the list. Number 9, Kingdom Hearts. Fuck these games. In fact, I'm putting all of them at the number 9 spot. Moving on. Yes, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion found its way into overrated territory. Now, I know what you're gonna say. How can I hate Oblivion? It's the best game ever! Well, no it's not. I mean, sure, the game is fun, but as an RPG, it just doesn't make the cut as an awesome game, even at the time of its release. The graphics are shit, even for a PS3 and 360 game, its combat system is floaty and inconsequential, and its third-person perspective is so bonkers. I know it's unfair to say Skyrim was far better, but I mean, it kinda was. It pretty much took all of Oblivion's problems and rectified them. But Oblivion does have that medieval appeal that Skyrim couldn't match, despite the fucking dragons. So I guess I can see why so many enjoy this game. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Now, this one was a shoo-in to make this list. Why? Well, it could be a modernism talking, but classic games don't always mean the best things ever, which is what Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is usually referred to when it comes to the Marvel fighting game series. It's hard for me to agree. I'll gladly take Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 over 2 any day because of its technological and gameplay advancements. And yet people on gaming forums and in gaming groups on Facebook keep saying that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 trumps 3 in every way. Wrong. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 has better graphics, smoother gameplay, better controls, and better staying power. Now, you're free to like these games on a subjective standpoint, like always, but objectively speaking here, these type of games are evolutionary, as in they get better with each installment. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 has been dead for a while now, but I'm still hoping for a fourth one. A man can dream, right? Just so we're clear, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is not objectively better than 3. Case closed. Ah, good old Forza. How could I neglect to put you on here? I'd be stupid not to. Listen, Forza is a fun game, no doubt, but there's really nothing too special about it to keep calling it such an amazing racing game. Let's look at Forza 4, the most popular one. The driving mechanics are shoddy. You steer like you're on ice, your brakes barely work, and the collision damage is annoying. Sure, it's fun, but I wouldn't say much else on that aspect. Now compare that to Gran Turismo's tighter controls and much more merciful driving mechanics. You'll be putting Forza down pretty fast, I assure you. While Forza usually has a wider selection of cars, it's nothing I consider a masterpiece, which is why I am placing it at number 5. The Gears of War series. No specific game in particular, just all of them, maybe excluding Judgment. These games are unhealthily overpraised. Now, don't fret, I do like Gears of War 2 a lot, but I still think these games have not quite earned all the acclaim they've gotten. Horde mode is probably the only reason I can figure, because everything else does not scream the critical scores. I even played the campaign with buddies in co-op and still couldn't see the immense joy they felt. It feels like you're trudging through marshmallow paste, the AI is obnoxious, and the enemies are too hard to hit. Not to mention playing online is an annoyance since the maps are so large, which always manages to work in the opposition's favor. The appeal is lost on me, I guess. While it is a graphically superior game with a good amount of enjoyment, I definitely think calling it the best third-person shooter ever is a massive overstatement. Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops. Fuck this game. No exaggeration, no joke, this game can go die in a fire. I fucking despise it with every ounce of resentment I have to offer. Metal Gear is a series with some of the best games ever made. MGS Portable Ops, however, takes that legacy, masturbates all over it, and princes around like it's lead shit in the shit parade. Let's start with the squad system. First, it's a team-based Metal Gear game, something the series is not very comfortable with doing. And for good reason. Metal Gear is supposed to be a stealth game. Teams usually create more conspicuity. The stealth elements aren't even good either. You can switch between characters during missions while hiding cardboard boxes while inactive. Apparently, you're supposed to utilize them in the right time. But guess what? Why would you need to? You can literally beat the entire game by using just one character and not fucking things up. Oh, but here's something even better. When a character on your team dies, it never comes back. Instead of just doing it a game over, they pretty much eat up your roster. That's a bad thing given how easy it is to die. The stealth doesn't work very well with its PSP controls, so you can get spotted in seconds. The only real praise I can give it is its visuals. The gunplay is also barely functional, and the maps are so tight and damn near impossible to maneuver around, which you'll have to do a lot of in this game. It really disappoints me how Metal Gear of all games let me down this way. I guess that's what happens when Kojima doesn't direct. Oh, I went there. This could have easily topped the list, but I can't let this go unanswered. Now, this game isn't bad, but it's nothing to rave about either. Grand Theft Auto has never been a series that I obsessed over like the rest of the world, but I've never hated the games. If you like the campy, unorthodox storytelling of games, then yes, you definitely like Grand Theft Auto. Personally, though, I'll take Watch Dogs over it any day. But at the time, Grand Theft Auto 5 got immense acclaim for months on end, and I was sitting here estranged to the hype. Perfect scores everywhere even. I even heard someone say it was the golden standard for open world adventures. I think that's pushing it. It is a graphically superior game, but it has a weird control system, awkward gunplay, and a pretty disorienting third-person view. I guess I'll never be on board with the whole religious practice of worshipping GTA. Batman Arkham City. Man, I can hear the death threats being typed into the comic box already. Now, to all of you bitches ready to burn me at the stake, let me just say, this is all my subjective viewpoints. I'm not judging you if you like this game. I thought it was pretty awesome. And that's the operative word. Thought. When I first got this game post-hype in 2012, I had a ball with it. The combat system was great, the world was immersive, and the story was awesome. Everything was all I could hope for. Now, the Arkham Chronicles pretty much dominated open-world superhero action adventures, mainly since there weren't really any standouts in the genre. Yes, you had the Spider-Man games, which were rooted in the movies, and then you had the garbage pile known as Aquaman Battle for Atlantis, which anyone could have tapped if you were partially educated. But Batsy was always where it was at sea. If I ever say that again, kill me. Arkham City's graphics were a notch below perfect, the gadgetry was well balanced, and getting into a combat zone felt like actual danger. It really allowed you to take on the world as Batman. Now, let's get into the good stuff. Arkham City may have been fun, but now it doesn't hold up. The world is too big, the campaign is too confusing, and the combat aspect progressively shortens as the game goes on. How is that even considered okay? Batman is supposed to be stopping criminals. Why give us so little towards the end? This game doesn't even rate to modern action adventures of this current day, or even the game's following year. Take off your fanboy goggles, people. There is better stuff. Perfect Dark isn't better than Black Ops 2, and Morrowind isn't better than Fallout New Vegas. That's just the cold hard truth. So the next person to tell me that Dark Souls 2 sucks, and that they'd rather play Arkham City because it's in quotes, better, is getting a battering to the face. Ooh, we just finished the second entry. Now, you know what's next. If that didn't piss you off, well, my number one certainly will. Prepare yourselves, people. The number one most overrated game ever is easily Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. I'm surprised this game hasn't topped more overrated games lists. So this is it, huh, folks? This is really what people consider the best game ever made. Even to this day, people still stand by that. Yes, it's their own opinion, but either way, I'm still allowed to disagree with it. And I do. A lot. This game is far from the best game ever. Even at the time of its release, I wouldn't think so. I think it's because critics are so grossly biased towards anything Mario and Zelda related that they'll receive universal acclaim for literally making a game about Mario picking his nose or Zelda dealing with menstrual cycles. The gameplay, to me, is monotonous. It feels like I'm in a rut most of the time. You spend like 6,000 years walking from area to area, kill a few things, break a few items, and get some cash. It was so forgettable. Granted, I've played this a long time ago, but that's not an excuse. A good game will always be impressionable throughout anything. Objectively, this game is nothing but a retro game. Open world games like Bloodborne, Metal Gear 5, and even Witcher 3 are all objectively and subjectively better. Excluding Witcher, since I haven't played that one. But objectively, those three games I mentioned trump Ocarina of Time by light years. They are all better looking, they have better combat systems, better overworlds, and better stories. Okay, so the story one might be subjective, but other than that, to still say Ocarina of Time is better than much more superior games and stating it like it's etched in stone is just false. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe.